Hi, welcome to Jolly Phonics. Today I'm doing the introduction to Jolly Phonics and what is Jolly Phonics basically, because there are so many parents who have been approaching me asking me to do a formal introduction on what Jolly Phonics is. So let's get started. So the basic thing here with Jolly Phonics is a foundation. It is a program designed for children to help them read, write, and speak English. Okay, that's most important thing here. It uses synthetic phonics method of teaching the letter sounds in a way that is more multisensory. What does that mean? That means you're looking, you're reading, you're feeling, and you're actually kinesthetically doing the actions while you're understanding the sound that is being taught. So that is done in by looking at the letters, that is done by singing the songs, that is done by doing actions with the songs, and that is done by writing the word. Okay, not only just saying the sound. So this is how the children learn how to use the letters to read and write the words. Okay. So in Jolly Phonics, we have 5 basic skills. First is learning the letter sounds, then the letter formation, blending, identifying the sounds, and then finally we have the tricky words. So we're going to go step by step with the letter sounds. So we have 7 groups of the letter sounds. This is all the 42 letter sounds that have been distributed into and divided into 7 groups. So the first group is s, a, t, I, p, n. The second group is k, and k is also k, e, p, r, m, d. Third group is g, o, u, l, f, b. Fourth group is a, j, o, I, e, or. Fifth group is z, w, ng, v, u, u. Sixth group is y, x, ch, sh, th, th. Seventh group is qu, ow, oi, u, and r. The next is letter formation. So it's imperative to have your child learn how to hold the pencil or the pen when they're writing. This grip is also called as a tripod grip. And in this grip, you want to make sure that your child holds the pencil with 3 fingers. The other 2 fingers are to support those 3 fingers, okay? That is your ring finger and your little finger are there to support the other 3 fingers. Now let's take a look at different grasps that a child goes through. Developmentally, this may be appropriate if the child is like 1 to 2 years of age. However, you want to slowly move them on to a tripod grasp, which is the correct grasp. Some kids may still continue to have the quadrupod grasp, which is okay, but you want to make sure that you have the tripod grasp at least by the age of 3, because then it's going to make it tricky to correct it if they have the wrong grasp. Take a look at this 2 wrong way of grasping. The grip here is a thumb wrap in the first picture, where the thumb overrides the pencil. And in the second picture, we have the thumb tuck, where the index finger, that is your second finger, and the thumb both override the pencil. This becomes hard to correct later on in the age, so you want to make sure that all the 3 fingers, the thumb, the index, and the middle finger, are holding on to the pencil. So here we have the correct grip, wherein the index finger and the ring finger are holding on the pencil, and the middle finger is gently supporting the pencil from underneath. The second skill is the letter formation. So for letter formation, you can use the Finger Phonics books that's available on Amazon. You can use just an ordinary book, or you can just trace the letters in the air. So all you do here is tell the child how to start the letter, and if it has a curve, you show the child how to curve it and then form the letter either in the air, on the book. I think the best thing to do here is on the book, where you actually make the letter S or the letter A and have them trace it with their finger. So if you look at the letter S here, there's a dot in the beginning, and then there are arrows leading up to how to complete that letter S. So you just go along with the arrows and you finish the letter S. So this is very simple, very basic. You can do this with salt, you can do this with sand, where you can actually trace the letters in a sandbox or in an ordinary box. Exercise sheets, doing the same thing. You can color this, trace the letter with your finger, and then start to write. So that's your letter formation. Okay. Storylines and stuff like that, stories and actions can go along with when you're teaching them, because this is another tactile action song that you're going to introduce when you're teaching a specific letter. So if you're teaching S, you want to teach them the sound of the letter S, you want to teach them the song, and you have to teach them the action so they will remember it better. Okay, so the third skill is blending. Blending is nothing but you're moving all the three sounds or four sounds of the letters together to form a new word. So now that your child knows all the sounds of the alphabet, and also the other 42 sounds, that is the diphthongs and digraphs, you're just moving them together. For example, dog, d, a, g, dog. And you're bringing the words closer, d, a, g, dog, dog, dog. So you're only going to use the words from the particular group that you're teaching. For example, you're teaching group 1. So you have these words from the word bank. This is just an example. These are from group 1, but this is just an example. There are many more words in group 1 word bank. So sat, it, pat, tap, pan, and nip. So here you're going to say s, at, s, at, sat, 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 sat. These are the games that you can introduce to your child, like word bingo, where they actually just have to identify the sounds in this word. So you're asking them to spot, dot it, or circle the word s, and they have to circle both the s in this game. Same thing, you're going to introduce t, and this is usually done towards the end when you have introduced all the 6 letter sounds, that is s, at, in, and then you can give this as a test to make sure that your child really knows and is thorough with their sounds. Then we also include digraphs with the blending. Digraphs are nothing but 2 letters that make one sound. Be careful though, there are some diphthongs that are included in here, like oi. So the sounds of digraphs are a, o, I, e, or, u, oo, ch, sh, th, th, qu, ow, oi, u, and r. Alright, so just like the sounds, letter sounds, the digraphs also has rhymes, songs, and actions associated with it, and also the letter formation, which you can do on the piece of paper, just tracing the name, the word AI, and then they can do the diphthong and digraphs together. Also the words like pain, aim, male. I have made worksheets on these, plenty of them, and I've made worksheets on each individual group, so you can check that out in the description below, and I will tag that in here so you can avail that. Alternative vowel sounds are nothing but the sounds that each long vowel makes. So here we have a digraph AI, and that's also making the sound A and A, right? A as in a play and A as in flame. So that's these are just examples of alternative sounds and how they can change the sound. So if you look here, this E here in the split digraph is nothing but magic E, where you do not pronounce the sound of the last E that comes along. Only the sounds of A, E, and O are pronounced, okay? A fourth basic skill is segmenting or identifying the letters in a word. So for example, this is important for dictation, where you're telling the child a word and you say bat. So the child has to know how to differentiate and find out what other sounds make the word bat. So it has to be b, a, and t. This will allow the child to write, and therefore he's going to be able to proceed with something called dictation, where you're telling the child, write bat, and he writes bat. Slowly but surely, there are so many tricky words that are associated with this. When I say tricky words, I don't literally mean the sight words, but the words that are really tricky, like words like weird or field, where the E comes before the I and the I comes before the E in field. So these are words that your child may learn in later stages where they advance with learning dictation words or spellings of the words, and that only will come with practice. So here I have word boxes where I've separated each and every group 7 groups into different boxes. Again, play around with this, and once your child knows all the 7 groups, you can go ahead and move on to word families like ag, am, then move on to e, I, o, u families. Again, I have made series on these word families. You can check below on the description and the play. So the final skill is tricky words, and for tricky words you can do 2 to 3 tricky words per group. For example, in group 1, Jolly Phonics introduces the number one. So numbers are tricky words, colors are tricky words. So make sure you're introducing only 2 to 3 tricky words like I, he, she in each group, because you do not want your child to confuse tricky words with sound words, because there are only few high frequency words that are actually following the phonetic scheme. The rest of the tricky words do not follow phonetics. Therefore, they are called tricky words. So make sure that when you introduce your child with tricky words, they have to memorize it. You can also use worksheets. For example, in this worksheet, the is focused on, and here the is used repeatedly with highlighting the word, coloring the word, putting the word in the sentence, etc. I hope you guys like this video. This is not all about Jolly Phonics, but this is the basic. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next session for blending.